Lemmy was born Ian Fraser Kilmister in the Burslem area of Stoke-on-Trent on the 24th of December 1945. When he was 3 months old, his father, an ex-Royal Air Force chaplain and concert pianist, and separated from his mother. He moved with his mother and grandmother to nearby Newcastle under Lyme, then to Madeley. When Ian was 10, his mother married former rugby player George L Willis, who already had 2 older children from a previous marriage, Patricia and Tony, whom Ian disliked. They later moved to a farm in the Welsh village of Benllech, with Lemmy commenting that, funnily enough, being the only English kid among 700 Welsh ones didn't make for the happiest time, but it was interesting from an anthropological point of view. He attended Ysgol Syr Thomas Jones, a comprehensive school in Amlwch where he was nicknamed Lemmy. It was later suggested by some that the name originated from the phrase Lemmy, or lend me a quid till Friday, because of his alleged habit of borrowing money from people to play slot machines. Although Lemmy himself said that he did not know the origin of the name, he soon started to show an interest in rock and roll, girls and horses. At school, Lemmy noticed a pupil who had brought a guitar to school and had been surrounded by chicks. His mother had a guitar, which he then took to school, and was himself surrounded by girls even though he could not play. By the time he left school, he had moved with his family to Conwy. He went on to work several odd jobs, including one at the local Hot Point electric appliance factory, while also playing guitar for local bands such as the Sundowners and spending time at a horse riding school. He saw the Beatles perform at the Cavern Club in Liverpool when he was 16, and then learned to play along on guitar to their first album, Please Please Me. He also admired the sarcastic attitude of the group, particularly that of John Lennon, and later said of the group, Brian Epstein cleaned them up for mass consumption, but they were anything but sissies. In Stockport, Lemmy joined local bands the Rainmakers, and then the Motown sect, who played northern clubs for 3 years. In 1965, he joined the Rockin' Vickers, who signed a deal with CBS, released 3 singles, and toured Europe, and reportedly being the first British band to visit the Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia. The Rockin' Vickers moved to Manchester, where they shared a flat together. Leaving the Rockin' Vickers, Lemmy moved to London in 1967. He shared a flat with Noel Redding. He is bassist of the Jimi Hendrix Experience, and with Neville Chesters, he is their road manager. And Lemmy got a job as a roadie for the band. In 1968, he joined the psychedelic rock band Sam Gopal under the name Ian Willis, and recorded the album Escalator, which was released in 1969. After meeting Simon King at a shopping center in Chelsea in 1969, he joined the band Opal Butterfly, but the group soon disbanded, having failed to raise enough interest with their singles. In August 1971, Lemmy joined the space rock band Hawkwind, who were based in Ladbroke Grove, London, as a bassist and vocalist. He had no previous experience as a bass guitarist, and was cajoled into joining immediately before a benefit gig in Notting Hill by bandmate Michael Dick Mick Davies to have 2 members who enjoyed amphetamine. Lemmy states that he originally auditioned for Hawkwind as a guitarist, but on the morning of the Notting Hill gig, they decided not to get another guitarist. In May 1975, during a North American tour, Lemmy was arrested at the Canadian border in Windsor, Ontario on drug possession charges. The border police mistook the amphetamine he was carrying for cocaine, and he was kept overnight in jail before being released without charge. The band and management were concerned that his arrest might stop the band from crossing back into the United States, even though he had been released without charge. They were also tired of what they saw as his erratic behavior, so they decided to fire him. After Hawkwind, Lemmy formed a new band called Bastard with guitarist Larry Wallis and drummer Lucas Fox. Lemmy and Took were friends, and Took was the stepfather to Lemmy's son named Paul. When his manager informed him that a band by the name of Bastard would never get a slot on Top of the Pops, Lemmy changed the band's name to Motorhead, title of the last song he had written for Hawkwind. Soon after, Wallis and Fox were replaced with guitarist Eddie Clarke and drummer Phil Philthy Animal Taylor, and with this lineup, the band began to achieve success. Lemmy's guttural vocals were unique in rock at that time, and were copied during the time when punk rock became popular. The band's sound appealed to Lemmy's original fans, and eventually to fans of punk. Lemmy asserted that he generally felt more kinship with punks than with metalheads. He even played with the Damned for a handful of gigs when they had no regular bassist. Motorhead's success peaked in 1980 and 1981 with several UK chart hits, including the single Ace of Spades, which remained a crowd favourite throughout the band's career, and the UK #1 live album No Sleep Till Hammersmith. Motorhead became one of the most influential bands in the heavy metal genre. Their and Lemmy's final live performance was in Berlin, Germany, on the 11th of December 2015, during the band's 40th anniversary tour.